A wizard arrives precisely when he means to.
Hello everybody, Destroyer, and welcome back to another cast of the Rise of Witch King patch 2.2 version 7. Today we have a 1v1 on Tombs of Karna. Alright, cool. I do like this map quite a bit. It has a nice theme to it. It's pretty good layout as well. So it's a good map. Let's see who we got. We got MattysMirk as a Elves there. Fitting. And then we have, of course, his opponents, MayShadowFax as Isengard. So we have Isengard vs. Elf, MayShadow vs. MattysMirks. Cool. So MayShadow's going for economy, as you would expect. He's going for 4 furnace starts, which is a bit bold. We have 3 trees, and of course a barracks going down for Matty. He's also going for lowering archers as a starting unit. And he's going for rally call. MayShadow has not chosen a power yet, but he'll probably go war chant. It's not unheard of to go, of course, Vision of Palantir now in version 7, but it's still not better than war chant, of course. And of course you can go Creebon if you want to. Creebon's not a bad choice either. But you can do some pretty interesting things with the speed boost. With, like, Wildmen, say. Wildmen harass with torches. Speed boost them. Could be pretty dangerous. Warg Riders with speed boost could be pretty dangerous. Who knows? But of course, War Chant. Warg Riders are just as dangerous, I'd argue, but hard to say. Alright, Medi is going to creep some goblin layers there. There's a nice little tomb there. That's pretty cool how he's got the glow coming out of the tomb. I like that. A nice touch. But there is, of course, in this map, you have a goblin layer there, you have a signal fire in the middle. In the bottom right, you have an inn with a cave troll guarding it. Of course, in the top left, you have the same thing, because it's a symmetrical map. And you have goblin caves in the back. So there's a few little creeps here and there. Goblin caves aren't particularly great creeps, but they are creeps. So they can be worth, of course, getting gold from. Let's actually see how much he gets from this, just out of curiosity. Creep value was increased a bit, so it is possible it's wholly worth it. 120 there, 125 there. I'd say it's worth it. Because you're not going to lose too many to Goblin Archers, or Goblin Warriors or whatever. Goblin Archer Warriors. Goblin Layer in general, with Archers, of course. The Archer's a good choice to counter that. Looks like Meddy's also going to claim the Signifier, which will give him vision over this whole middle bit. Which will give him vision over here, which will give him vision over here as well, so he can see any enemy movement. Of course, he'll obviously be able to see around it. It's perfectly positioned to be able to see just the edges of the rivers there, which is pretty nice. So he'll have complete vision over there, but he will not have vision, of course, over the northern ford or the southern ford, which is here. So there is actually, I mean, there's technically 5 ways to go. There's there, and then the top and the bottom. But you could kind of count this middle bit as 1 if you wanted to, I suppose. Although I'd argue this is not very close to this, so probably not. Alright. Looks like they're gonna force their way through the center here. Wargs, of course, don't trample, so he can't use them to trample units. But he can use them to get into the archer line and do some damage. Wargs are good against archers, believe it or not. The basic warg. So Matty will struggle a little bit here, I think. He does have some warriors though, and archers to back him up. Once he actually starts getting to target things down, he will definitely win out. Because while it does say wargs are good against archers, they're not that good against archers. They'll still die to archers pretty easily because they can't trample them. And they take damage from them, of course, consistently from archer fire. So Matty's in a good prime position to move out. There's some Mythlon sentries. Being sent to creep a goblin lair in the far west. I think definitely some Warg Riders might be in order. Yep, looks like MayShadow agrees. Warg Riders would be a great counter to this. Warg Riders are much better in version 7, 2.2. So they're definitely well worth getting. They punch deeper into enemies than they did before, which has always been their problem. They had a very crappy charge. They were just really bad. But that's been rectified now. They're pretty good. Also, in conjunction with Sharku, they're pretty nice. So you see Sharku a lot in version 7, as you didn't actually see him at all pretty much in version 6, which is pretty cool. So I see Sharku come to the forefront a little bit, because he's always been a really good hero. He's always been underutilized, because people just didn't value Sharku very much. And of course he does have an experience bonus ability to wargs and warg riders, if you so desire to use it, instead of taking enemy wargs and warg riders, which is a very niche ability, it's gotta be said. He now has a ability befit of what he does. Lead wargs. MayShadow should be able to fend off this force. He's got a wall of tanky Urukai and hold ground stance and a shield wall. He's also got a couple battalions of crossbows, and he now has some warg riders on the field as well. Hopefully he will manage to catch these. A scenario where you're chasing down an enemy, actually Vision of the Paladin is really useful. Because that speed bonus you get is pretty good. I wouldn't charge over those. Okay, good. It's a good thing you stopped there. That would have been bad. Looks like Matty has thrown up a Mirror Galadriel over here, as well as securing the Signifier, attempting to at least. I suppose they're having to fire up a hill here to get hits on their targets. Pikes are dead. The wargs are free to go through. They managed to kill 1 or 2 guys there before having to back up because of the fallen sentries arriving. Looks like Matty has some dudes there and there as well. He's finishing that creep there. He just had to pull them back to the front. He definitely needs some Mythlons there. It's a very nice looking map. I don't know why, but I find the version 1v1 version nicer looking than the other ones. I know it's not what it is. Something about it. Something about this middle bit, I guess, maybe. I just really like it. So it's got a nice color to it. It's very purpley, but not too over the top. It's nice. Unlike some other maps that have tried some sort of hue of the color in the sky, but really kind of made it unbearable. AKA that one map. I forgot its name. This is the map of which we do not speak. The 4v4 one. Twilight Shores, that's what it was. Ugh, the lighting on that map. Not ideal. That map has been removed from version 7 because it just wasn't very good. If it was ever going to be playable, it needs to be fixed, pretty much. If you're going to spend time fixing it, you might as well make a new map. That's everyone's general idea about it, I guess. MayShadow's got a pretty good force. Lots of pikes, lots of crossbows, and he's got some Urukai for good measure. Might even have some warg riders running around, I don't know. Don't think so. Looks like Matty's slacking on his creep gainage. Could have that little bit extra money if he just moves his troops. Of course, he'll have another battalion of archers he can utilize if he remembers they exist. Well, he has gone for quick Mirkwoods, it looks like. Living up to his name, MattysMirks. He has gone for Mercs. How magnificent. Mirkwoods could be pretty good. Vision of the Palantir buff for Elves with the Mirkwoods give you pretty good range, it's gotta be said. You could actually probably shoot them from here if you get over here. And then use it. You could probably hit those, I'd imagine. Maybe not. Maybe the height advantage would give him the range though, I don't know. But he still might not have light of sight or something, who knows. Shooting down hills can be a bit weird in BFME too. And Rise of the Witch King. So it's hard to say. Matty will have to reposition to engage that. It's a pretty scary looking force. Neither team is going for heroes as we go, it looks like. Looks like MayShadow's also harassing in the south there. But in the north is where the true power is at, where his upgraded barracks is. As the player playing against the opposing elf, you do want to try and go for this barracks. Always go over the one with the leaves on it. Pretty much the general way to do things. Looks like a War Trent and Creebine combo is allowing MayShadow to clean up nicely here. But it looks like his crossbows are targeted, focused completely on these guys, and Matty is just taking advantage of that by microing them around, allowing them to have to walk around an enemy to get to them, which is pretty bad. MayShadow's not paying attention to them. They were doing that, of course. That's the problem with being at all fronts. Oh, MayShadow did pick up a builder kill there, which is always nice. Always feels nice. He's getting more farms, trees, whatever you want to call them. And it looks like MayShadow has gone for alerts, which is always a grand choice, of course, for any budding Isengard player. Definitely want yourself alerts. Matty definitely has a stronger army at this point. As long as he can keep his Mirkwood safe, he will have a better time with things. It's ideal for Matty to want to keep this hill because of his Mirkwoods in range. Which, of course, doesn't give any shits. And he's going to pick off some Mirkwoods as he sees fit. There's the Elven Wood. Oh boy. Lurtz made a huge mistake. Turned into a pincushion real fast. With that buff from the Elven Wood, 50% damage. And he has to bring down Lurtz pretty easily. Of course, Mirkwoods have pretty high damage in general, and they have a pretty good range also, of course. They're pretty deadly. And MayShadow's in trouble. He stopped, yeah, he stopped using Warg Riders entirely, which I think is a huge mistake. He needs Warg Riders if you're going to beat this. Either Warg Riders or Ballista is the only answer to this, really. And Ballistas are much better now, so, I mean, they can actually kill Mirkwoods. So I definitely bank on Warg Riders and Ballista if I was him. He's not going to beat him in a 1v1 with an army like this. Against an army like that, I don't think. Most of his guys will die before you get to him. Probably wouldn't be ideal. I swear to God I'm hearing Elrond. Oh, I am hearing Elrond. There's an Elrond in there. Hey, look at that. That's his icon for leadership, apparently. Elrond's 33% damage, 30% armor, and more experience gain for the elves. Elrond is not generally a first choice as an elven hero. So it's interesting to see. That's of course the HD edition Elrond. It's Hobbit armor. But he is a good choice. He comes out with leadership, which actually makes him pretty strong. He used to come out with Athelos. I didn't actually realize that leadership was moved to level 1. So he is the only elven hero that comes out with leadership at level 1, I guess. Which does make him more purchasable, if you think about it. It also just makes more sense, because, I mean, he's the most followable elf, you know? If anyone's going to have leadership, it'd be Elrond. Or Thranduil, of course, but Thranduil's particularly that role in this game, of course. He's an Archer Supreme counter hero dude. So Elrond fits the bill nicely as a support hero, of course. Also, his Farsight is got the same stats as the original Farsight, so it'll cast on a large area for a long amount of time. So you can still utilize the Elves' old Farsight ability by using Elrond's Farsight if you don't want to use your power Farsight as a spying power. And instead want to use that range bonus it gives. Matty lost his tree and his enchant there, deciding to get rid of it. MayShadow managed to push back that force though. And Matty is probably going to be in a bit of danger at the moment. He did get Elrond out of there though. Luckily Elrond is pretty quick. Pretty resilient as well. I'd say Matty's doing pretty well though. So is MayShadow though. Both players doing alright. MayShadow could do with a bit more harassment on the Elves, I think. If you just got a couple more extra battalions of wargs and sent them at the Elf base to shut down his eco, I think that would be a good call while pushing to the center. Even one battalion of warg pack, just doing a little bit of damage to some random trees, would probably be pretty good. Because they're pretty quick. And will do pretty good damage. And get the hell out. Wisely though, he is not opting to go Wildman at Dunlin, which is not a good... It's not a good unit versus Elves. It just doesn't have the health. He does have, of course, some Wildman of Dunlin there, but those are summoned, so that's more than fair enough. That's a good power actually to use against Elves. Summon it in the Archer line of Elves is a classic move. Try and just get some melee troops on top of the Elven Archers is always powerful. Also another good counter to Elves, of course, for Isengard is the Watcher. I don't know which tree he's deciding to go down. I don't remember the power tree, but Watcher is always powerful against Elves. Elves are a generally blob up camp kind of faction. They push, but they push in giant groups. So Watcher is usually a brutal counter to that, because they'll be clumped up nicely, and you can just brutalize them with Watcher, and allowing you to easily push forward. Oh, we got Legolas on the field now. Interesting. Could be good. Now, Hawkstrike killed a fair amount of guys. So he's banking on heroes here. There is alerts on the field though. Just not leveling is the problem for MayShadow. If you can get him to level 4, he can pin any elven hero and just brutalize them pretty easily. That's what Lurtz does best. Sadly for MayShadow, he's just not getting the levels he needs. Is he getting experience for the crossbows? Maybe. Gets Mirkwood's there. Some crossbows on the high ground. MayShadow definitely has the advantage here, I would think. He's just got a lot of crossbows. Lurtz, of course, is in bow mode as well. Legless! Those hawk strikes. Look how many he killed there. I guess he didn't have the advantage after all. The high ground. Anakin was wrong. Or Kenobi was wrong. Whatever. I don't care. It's a terrible movie. But the high ground does not give you the win. Obi-Wan. That's the name I was looking for. For some reason I can only remember Kenobi. That's the other part of his name. Alright, well, and someone has arrived. That one missed the mark, or hit the mark, depending on where he was aiming, I suppose. But if you can defend these Ents well enough, you can win the game. Will allowing someone to ravage these guys? Probably. Oh yeah. The Mirkwoods are melting away. But so is MayShadow's fortress. One of the Ents has gone down, the other one's still alive. Which seems to be focusing on the Ents, definitely. He will save the fort, but only just. One more rock probably would have done him in. So he needs to be very careful. If even a sneaky Ent play from Matty could get around. Is he just now getting the creep from that? Why would he send guys over there? Maybe to defend? I don't know. Some random crossbows running around. Apparently going off to a tomb. They're ready to be buried. That's fair enough. But I think MayShadow's in trouble. He's demolished his work pit. I wonder why he would do that. Maybe he needed some money quickly. Decided wargs were not going to be useful. I think that's a bit of an untruth. I think if Elrond just ran for the fort, he would take the fort. Elrond versus a fort. probably be good enough. Also, Legolas. Hawk Strike might do a little bit of damage to a fort. Archer heroes obviously don't do very much damage to fortresses. If left alone, he will do some. Legolas can Knife Fighter, actually. I don't know if he has it yet. He does indeed. Yep, he's going for the fort kill. Elrond and some pikemen definitely have the power to do it. Shadow throwing down his last power before his fort goes down. Elrond, of course, is Atlas, so he can heal up. Down goes MayShadow's fortress. I don't think I saw a single... No, of course you didn't. Lurtz did not fulfill his role this game. You'd think once Lurtz gets on the field, he would level up fairly quickly, be able to cripple any elven heroes and just beat them to death. Not this game. He never got level 4 until now. And at this point, it's too late. His fortress is gone. I think all his builders are dead as well. Nope, there's one left, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't have the eco to build another fort. Not at all. He'll have to run against elves without powers and without a fort if he wants to win this one. And that would be real tough. But at least he can finally do what Lurtz does best. And cripple Elrond, but ignore him? Sure. Wormtongue's actually really good to level up against elves. They have a pretty good hero selection, of course. If you steal yourself an Elrond, use his abilities like Restoration or what have you. Could be pretty good. You could Restoration your Cripple and your Berserk, which would be pretty interesting. Allowing Lurtz to just cripple and kill a second hero. Yeah, at this point, MattysMirks got this in the bag. So MayShadow's gonna find himself a little tomb to retire to, I think. There's plenty to choose from. Many options available. Just depends on his price package he chooses, I suppose. But the Elrond, I think, was a good choice for Matty. He was lucky Lurtz didn't level up quick enough. But at the same time, the level 1 leadership is pretty good. I find, at least. Especially when combined with Mirkwoods. And the Legolas is definitely helping out as well. His Hawk Strike has healed many a group. And of course, once Legolas gets level 7, he gets Arrowwind, which is horribly strong against groups of enemies. There you go. MayShadowFax has been defeated, and MattysMirks is victorious. Cool. There you go. Nice little Elf versus Eisen. And Elves pulled out the win on that one. It's a pretty good match, though. I think, at least. On a map I like quite a bit. So that's good. But yeah, definitely Lurtz just needed that couple levels quicker. I think he would have been a little bit better off. Also Ballista, for God's sakes. Mirkwoods aren't very good against Ballista. Ballista are now good against Mirkwoods. Do it. Alright, well there you go. That has been a cast of the Rise of Witch King patch 2.2 version 7. Hope you all enjoyed. And I'll see you guys next time.